The basic found in stocks that were cheap, that he could manipulate. And the manipulation part was illegal, but that's not my fault. I just did the analysis and I said, this stock is trading at $5, it should be 20. But typically there is a reason why it's not 20, it's small. When you generate a lot of movement, these people, they're like these bugs coming to the light. They just come to it, but you quietly build a portfolio. As soon as they come to it and price moves up, you say, there you go. Then, of course, everything tanks. So you need people like that. People who were simply brokers, they didn't get hired. Why? Because, you can be a broker, you can be a broker. I'm not saying being a good broker is simple, but as long as you have certain minimum qualifications, whether I have you or you, doesn't matter. And if you're relatively senior, you're making $20,000 more than he does, I'm going to hire him. Because I don't lose much otherwise. But if you're someone that's actually helping in other ways, especially in this day and age, you should be able to do things, help things that an AI cannot do. An AI, not now, probably 20 years from now, AI can't even teach this class, but we're not there yet. But even then, there'll be other things. That's why you need to learn how to argue stuff. Let me look at some things. Oh, okay. Just a second. Who's going to tell me whether this is true or not? You collect payment from a customer, that will increase the net working capital of the firm. There was a customer who owed you money, $10,000. You collected that. Did that increase net working capital of the firm? Why? Now, as my mathematical economics teacher once told me, when you make a claim that something is true, if at all possible, the best explanation is providing the proof. And when you say something is false, the best answer is providing a counterexample. It might not be true, it's not an argument. That's the reason we gave the answer. You have to tell me why that may not be true. Why that may not be true? Give an example. We don't know. When you collect the payment, where does this money go? Cash. Okay? So, when you collect what you want to call money from customer, that reduces which item on balance sheet? No, that reduces accounts receivable. They owe me $10,000, they don't anymore, so accounts receivable comes down. Well, I'm going to put that money into my cash. I can do something with it later, but immediately I'm going to put it into my cash. So my cash increased by the exact same amount. So nothing happened to my current assets. Current liabilities are not affected, so net working capital is not affected at all. Hence, it is not true. So now that is an argument. That argument would get the full point. It might not be true, that's more like faith or belief. I respect all the beliefs, but your beliefs are yours, my beliefs are mine. Beliefs have nothing to do in science. Okay? Science doesn't require or need any belief. Something is either true or not, or if it is uncertain, what are the rules that are governing that uncertainty? It's where quantum mechanics comes in. Heisenberg came up with that in 1926. He basically proved that for subatomic particles, if you know exactly where an electron is, you have no fracking idea where it's going. Okay? And this is not a matter of ability to measure. Even if you had measurements of infinite precision, it is the inherent nature. If you know exactly where it is going, you have no idea where it is. The analogy is like you shot an arrow. Okay? At any point in time, you can measure where it is, but as soon as you measure where it is, you have no idea how fast it is going. If you know how fast it was going, by the time you measure it, it's not there anymore. But there's a rule to what that uncertainty is. Even if I don't know if something is true, I have an idea about what governs that thing not being true. That's what science is, right? You may believe, your belief is not required. Some people say, I believe in general relativity. General relativity doesn't require a belief. It has been tested and tested, and it has been proved correct in very, very rigorous tests. One of the biggest predictions from Einstein's theory of relativity was when there's a big object, two big objects collide, that actually creates gravitational waves that are propagated over space. And we observe two black holes colliding. I mean, these things are massive. They're millions and billions of times the mass of sun. Just like when you throw a stone to a lake, it creates waves. That sort of stuff creates gravitational waves. Until about 5-6 years ago, we didn't have the equipment to be able to detect those. Now we do. I mean, that was thought, oh, that prediction will never come true. Because Einstein's equations are notoriously difficult to solve, but they came up. But it can't explain anything on the quantum scale. And the quantum stuff cannot explain the relativity. So, but on the big things, it doesn't require any belief. We know exactly where Mercury is going to be 5 years from now. It's on February 12th, 5:07 p.m. Okay? Unless there is an unforeseen rogue planet that comes and hits us that we haven't seen yet. But based on what we're able to see around the solar system, we know exactly how it's going to move. And we use Einstein's equations for that. Because Mercury is so close to the Sun. If you want to know where Jupiter is going to be, you can use Newton's laws, because the difference between Newton's equations and Einstein's equations are not that big when an object is far from a source of gravity. But Mercury is so close. In fact, that was the reason kind of we developed it. Based on where Mercury should be according to Newton's calculations and where it actually was pretty different. As soon as he finished the theory, he said, this explains all the difference. But people still didn't believe. Because Einstein claimed that light should bend, okay, if there is a source of gravity. How do you bend the light? Light bends in a medium. I mean, if you send light into water, it will bend, but there is no medium in space. If I shine a source of light, it should go straight all the way. Einstein said, not if there is a source of gravity close by. The way he thought about gravity, think of sun as a big, heavy ball, and space-time as an infinitely elastic rubber. If you drop the bowling ball onto that, it's going to create a dent, right, around it, without actually tearing it. So if I send a light close to that, that's going to follow that curvature. People said, nah, that's not going to happen. Then in 1919, there was a total solar eclipse. There are certain stars We see at night because at night sun is behind us, but we don't see the sun, so we can see the star. But during the day, we can't see it because sun is between us. But if there's a total eclipse, I can still see them. So I know exactly where they should be at night, but during the day, sun is in front of me, so the light is actually passing close to the sun. Turns out, let's say I see the star right where you are at night. During the solar eclipse next day, I saw where he was. Because that comes and does this, it's as if I'm actually shifting where it is. The star is still where it is. It's just a visual trick. And the exact deviation was correct to 4 digits, what Einstein's equations predicted. And this is with the computational technology of 1950 or 1920s. Now we know that he gets it up to 20 digits, right? Now, that is not just a theory. Okay? That is a scientific fact. But all that comes from reasoning. So learn to reason stuff. Watch those videos that I posted, all right? We'll talk about cash flow and do more problems on Monday. And by then you'll have videos on cash flow too.
Did you say that our first quiz is on X12?